Carl Eustace, our VP of Sales for Axis. Today we're going to cover a variety of new exciting additions to our Extend series that we launched over a year ago for outdoor wet-rated applications. Just to get into it and review the line once again, Extend was brought to market to help bring that indoor look to the outdoors. It's based on our indoor portfolio, our bread and butter family, the Beam family, where you have 2-inch, 3-inch, 4-inch, and 6-inch profiles. Extend was built to simulate the same looks from the Beam 2 and Beam 4 series. So you have that very minimalist, very elegant look extending to the outdoors. These days, there are a lot of buildings that are designed where you have this sort of look where you can see the inside, and the architect wants to continue that linear element to the outside. So the beauty of this family is you can run something like Beam 4 on the inside of this building and then continue into the exterior using our Extend series, which is a true wet-rated IP66 fixture. Some highlights of the Extend, basically all the mountings you could need with this, be it pendant, recess mount, wall mount, surface mount. We've added a brand new mullion mount, which we can mount to horizontal or vertical mullions. We also have a standoff arm mount that I'm going to review a bit later. We, with these additions, have added a fully illuminated 90-degree corner for both wall and ceiling transitions. We have a direct and indirect combination option if you have a wall mount or suspended mount style fixture. It comes standard with a corrosion resistant powder coated finish that has been salt fog tested. However, if you need some extra durability to that extrusion, we can add an optional natatorium finish for any sort of pool, rec center, even coastal applications you might be working on where you're worried about corrosiveness in the air, be it salt or otherwise. We can build this fixture in 2-foot up to 12-foot standalone lengths, and we can do continuous system runs where, you have maybe a 40-foot, 60-foot, 80-foot run. We can provide that no problem. You just have to keep in mind, after a maximum 12-foot length, we will have a 1-inch joiner at that transition to the next fixture, and that joiner is used to maintain that IP66 rating on the fixture. And along with standard color temperatures, we also offer tunable white as well as our color changing RGB plus W profile if you want color changing in one of these fixtures. So the overview, the Extend 2, the 2-inch profile is 2.5 inches by 2.8 inches. I believe it's one of the smallest low profile true IP66 rated linears on the market today. And then our Extend 4 is 4.16 inches by 4.91 inches. A variety of optics on the direct. We have 5 different optics between our standard Lambertian SO lens, our asymmetric throw, a bat wing, a wall wash, and a wall graze. And on the indirect side, if you need an indirect optic, we have our standard Lambertian, we have an asymmetric distribution, and we have our bat wing. As I said, IP66 rated, so this is a huge improvement over our old wet beam, which was our original wet rated linear that was only IP65. And this also carries an IK10 impact rating. For those of you not familiar with IK ratings, it's a test that originated out of the European market, and it measures force of impact. So it's essentially a certain weight of hammerhead dropped from a variety of heights onto the product in question, and IK10 is the highest rating on that IK chart. So the joiner I mentioned before that is used to join continuous runs is less than 1 inch wide, and as standard we use tamper-proof hardware. There's only a couple exposed screws on each extrusion, and they're only accessible with a Torx bit. Integral driver is standard on both the Extend 2 and Extend 4. However, perhaps you're designing an area where cold weather is a concern, or you just need to remote the drivers for ease of access after the fact for maintenance purposes. We are comfortable remote mounting most of our drivers up to 50 feet away from these fixtures if needed. So the mullion mount that I mentioned previously, we can mount both horizontal or vertical mullions. We can have that lens directed down, or we can have it directed outwards, or we could just have it indirect if you wanted that as well. It mounts to both horizontal and vertical mullions, as I stated already, and power can also be daisy chained through the mullion if need be. On a revamped indirect optic, as I stated before, we have the standard lamp version, the batwing, and the asymmetric distribution as an option. These can be combined with the direct optic in the same run, and we can achieve up to 1400 lumens per foot on the indirect, which can achieve up to 144 lumens per watt. So it's very efficacious. Um, Product offering also includes RGBW, so if you need RGB plus W on the direct and indirect, we can provide that no problem. One other note on our example here of our pendant mount, the stems previously with our wet beam family had the power cable separate of our stem. The power now flows through one of those stems, so you do not have an exposed power cable with this system. On our new patterns and fully illuminated 90-degree corners, as I mentioned before, we can do outside corners, inside corners, vertical and horizontal, as you see on these images here. It's a mitered corner with a gasketed seam. The corner piece itself is one piece. It's 2 foot by 2 foot piece. IP66 and IK10 impact rated. All the mounting options available with these corners. Um, and a direct only can be joined to a direct indirect section if needed. On our new arm mounts, so this is brand new to the system as well. Let's say you have an application where you need to push the fixture 3 inches to 18 inches off the wall to maybe backlight some signage or something off the facade. We can provide that no problem, built to order at whatever length you need between those 3 inches to 18 inches. The power is running through one of those arms. It is fully gasketed as well. If you need to go beyond 18 inches, let's say you need to go 3 feet or more off the wall, we have a more rugged stem that's just a little heavier duty to address any wind or vibration concerns there might be. And as I mentioned before, we have a color changing platform available with the Extend now, as well as available in our indoor family, the Beam family, and the Sculpt family. We say RGB plus W because this white is not a tunable white, it's a static white chip. But compared to old RGBW platforms where the white was a bit of a dull or dim white, which you couldn't get a lot of functional white out of, this one white chip can achieve up to 700 lumens per foot. So compared to days before where you were maybe designing a room and you would have to use one fixture that was the party light and you had another fixture that was the actual functional general light. Now you can get it both in one platform. As I said, you extend for our entire Beam family and our entire Sculpt family. It is DMX protocol. The white chip is standard 90 CRI. And we have an optional wall station that we can marry up with this system that is shown here. It provides 4 zones, 4 preset scenes per zone. You have a slide dimmer. You have that color circle touch bar as well. This can control up to 120 feet of product. But if you need any other options for DMX control, the team at Max 2 have a variety of different wall stations they could marry up with our DMX system. And that's everything I had for you today, folks. I wanted to keep it short and sweet. Very excited about these additions to the Extend family. It's a tank. It's a phenomenal fixture that has a lot to offer, and I hope to see you all soon. Thank you.